Well, I met Luke my freshman year on a marching band trip because we roomed in the same room. And at first I really didn't like him because everybody woke up before me and shut the alarm clock off, so I almost missed the bus. And for the longest time I didn't like Luke until I had a gym with him my sophomore year, and that's when we became pretty close friends.
I remember him as the kid that came in and was stoked out of his mind to do a cartwheel. And so much zest. Luke's best quality was his sense of humor.
Luke's best quality is that you can just tell him anything. It doesn't matter if you're going through a hard day or you just have a fun story you want to tell him. He'd always be willing to listen to you. He'd talk to you and he'd actually listen. And of course, he'd have something to throw in, another story to tell you right after you were done.
Luke's best quality was probably his ability to pick up chicks.
Luke's best quality was he could pretty much talk to anybody and they'd like him no matter what. Nobody really doesn't like Luke. I don't think anybody could not like Luke because he's just such a lovable guy and he has that effect on people.
He never took anything seriously, you know. You could always count on him to say something funny or something, not even funny, just meaningful. Like, you could always vent to him and he'd always listen even if he didn't know what to do.
He was never, ever afraid of what other people thought of him. It was just, this is me, take it or leave it.
I don't think I've ever come out of a conversation with Luke where I wasn't laughing, and I think most people could say the same about him. He just had that energy about him that you could just tell right away he's a guy you wanted to be friends with. Even if you've never met him before, you could just see him and be like, that guy.
Remember the day that he was first being called Ringo? That was definitely a huge, he was Ringo. That was, he became a brother.
I remember I asked him if he'd do a backflip for somebody once, and he said, "No, I'm doing this backflip for me." And then he fell on his face, and I told him that's what you get for being selfish. And I think that was, from then on, he always did backflips for people. Probably my whole friendship with Luke was pretty memorable, just because there was never a dull moment, and we spent a lot of time together. I think it was probably the first time that I stayed at his house, because we were planning on going to bed real early, but then we stayed up all night talking about life and our ambitions and, you know, like what we were going to do when we had families and stuff, and we're just two 15-year-old kids that should be playing Call of Duty and drinking a lot of Red Bull. So I guess we did that too, but it was something really special for me.
Something that will always remind me of Luke. Well,
Probably the Bernie.
The Bernie.
The Bernie.
Bernie.
The Bernie, no doubt.
This will always remind me of Luke.
that and whipped cream. We always went for whipped cream runs at Walmart at 2 in the morning.
One of the best moments that I have with Luke is he would get the gnarliest rips, man, like the bloodiest rips I've ever seen, like to this day, hands down. That kid could bleed out of his hands, man. Tell you what, like half his palm's gone, and he's just pumped about it. That's so cool. Like, you don't really find too many people like that, you know?
Last time I saw him, we snuck out and we went to this little field over by my house, and he was going off on how pretty the night sky was, and this is so beautiful, blah blah blah, and then out of nowhere he's like, you know how some kids can't tell the difference between real butter and the I can't believe it's not butter stuff? Well, I'm one of those cool kids that can, and I'm just like, where did that even come from? And it was just one of those little simple random moments, but I remember it so well.
Just always dove headfirst into any obstacle we encountered and just really lived life to the fullest.
He was a good kid. He was a special person. He was family.
Luke was my best friend, and he was my brother. I couldn't think of him anything less than that, and I couldn't really think of any other words to describe Luke. He meant a lot to me.
Luke was probably my best friend, like along with Cody for the past 2.5 years. He was like with me through my dad dying and through my cancer. So he was a really good friend.
Luke, to me, he was that fairy tale knight in shining armor to not only me, but pretty much everyone, any girl he'd ever talked to. And I just remember every single day I'd get at least one letter, front and back page, and when he was gone for the weekends, he'd write a note for each day of the weekend when we wouldn't see each other, and I just loved it, every moment.
I just hope everyone can learn to live more like Luke did. Take some risks, cherish the little things, never take anything too seriously. Let the people around you know how much they mean to you, and never take them for granted. Luke made the most of every moment he was given in this life, and I think that's something we can all learn from and celebrate.
My best friend gave me the best advice. He said each day's a gift and not a given right. Leave no stone unturned, leave your fears behind, and try to take the path less traveled by. That first step you take is the longest ride. If today was your last day and tomorrow was too late, could you say goodbye to yesterday? Or would you live each moment like your last? Leave old pictures in the past, donate every dime you had. If today was your last day, against the grain should be a way of life. What's worth the prize is always worth the fight. Every second counts, 'cause there's no second try. So live like you've never lived it twice. Don't take the free ride in your own life. If today was your last day and tomorrow was too late, could you say goodbye to yesterday? Or would you live each moment like your last? Leave old pictures in the past, donate every dime you had. And would you call those friends you never seen? Reminisce on memories. Would you forgive your enemies? And would you find that one you're dreaming of? Swear up and down to God above that you finally fall in love. If today was your last day, if today was your last day, would you make your mark like mending a broken heart? You know it's never too late to shoot for the stars, regardless of who you are. So do whatever it takes, 'cause you can't rewind a moment in this life. Let nothing stand in your way, 'cause the hands of time are never on your side. If today was your last day and tomorrow was too late, could you say goodbye to yesterday? Or would you live each moment like your last? Leave old